now we move to chapter 8 to see a new chapter, an important chapter. Chapter 8 and chapter 9 are very important because we can say or consider it as the center or the turning point of the novel. So, chapter 8 is titled Never Wonder. Never Wonder. Okay? Never wonder means never ask, never think at all. So in this chapter, we see to the first time the young Louisa and young Tom, her brother, are sitting by the fireplace in Stone Lodge in their home. Both of them now because حيدر تسجيل ما عندنا لأنه ما تصعد على الكلاس بسبب الحجم الثقيل مالته. So Louisa and Tom here sitting by the fireplace talking to each other. To the first time we see them talking to each other, I mean, to the first time. So now they are young men and young women, and they have plans, and they have many things to do in their future. So it was unhurried conversation. It was unhurried conversation between them. Unhurried conversation, it means a quiet conversation, because the unhurried conversations contains on starts, stops, pauses, thinking before speaking, or thinking about what to do. أبو الحسن لحد الآن ما عندي فيديوهات. About to do in the future. أخوان بالنسبة لتسجيل المحاضرة بسبب الحجم الثقيل اللي يصير بالمحاضرة مترفع بسبب الإنترنت، البي دي افات لحد الآن ما منزل أي بي دي اف، لأنه الحكي اللي دا أحكيه هنا هو أكثر من البي دي افات. فالمطلوب من عندكم ومن أول محاضرة قلت أنه ورقة وقلم بيديكم وبس تكتبون رؤوس النقاط، تكتبون بس الأشياء اللي تشوفوها مهمة، لأنه أني دا أستعمل كلمات بسيطة ودا أعيد بالجمل هواية لما أشرحها ودا أشرح على كيفي. فيعني تلاحظون أنه تكتبون وياي بورقة وقلم وتحتوون بيها. ابتهال يعني صبيني دا أحكي على كيفي، يعني على كيفي دا أحكي ودا أعيد. ف تقدرون تلاحظون، يعني تقدرون تلاحظون مو كل شيء ملازم ولا كل شيء بي دي اف. الحكي اللي دا أحكي يعني دا أحسه مثل السوالف، مثل واحد يسولف لك سالفة ودي يقص لك قصة معينة، والأحداث كلها مترابطة وعرفت الشخصيات منهم وعرفت كل واحد شنو صفته. فبالامتحان لما راح يجيكم ما راح تجيكم أسئلة كارثية ولا راح تجيكم أسئلة من المريخ. الحكي اللي أنا دا أحكيه هنا، الحكي اللي أنا دا أحكيه هو نفسه راح يجي بالامتحان. أي كلمة خارج اللي دا أحكيه ما راح تجي بالامتحان. ولما راح تشوفون الأسئلة راح تتذكرون الحكي اللي أنا حكيته، لأنه دا أحكيه مثل السالفة مثل القصة. أوكي يا إخوان؟
دكتور بس سؤال، بس ملفات يعني توضح طريقة الأسئلة وكذا وهيك، يعني السالفة والممنونين
يعني شلون أوضح طريقة الأسئلة؟ ما دافته.
يعني ملفات بسيطة يعني عن الأسئلة وكذا، طريقة حتى لو أسئلة ماضية من بقية السنين، يعني واحد يعتمد يعني شلون يجرب النمط مالتك يفتهم عليك يعني أكثر. إذا تقدر تنزل لنا.
يعني أول شيء ما أقدر أنزل لكم أسئلة يعني سابقة، والنمط مالتي هو عبارة عن اختيارات. يعني الامتحان اللي تجيبه اختيارات.
زين دكتور، يعني ما وراء النص دائما لو يعني واحد يحفظ نصوص وكذا وهيك مال الرواية يعني.
يعني حكيت لكم قلت لكم على نصوص هنا بالمحاضرات.
لا دكتور، بس حبيت اسالك يعني
لا
اكثر يكون عندي.
اقول لكم انه الحكي اللي انا احكيه هنا هذا الحكي العادي، انه يتم ارتقب لويزا ظلوا يحجون يفكرون بمستقبلهم، هذا الحكي هو راح يجي في الامتحان. انا نصوص نهائيا ما استخدم، لانه النصوص هو الطالب يعني
دكتور يعني مثلا ايش يعني يكون مثلا النص والفكره من النص تجي على شكل خيار او فد شرع، ايش قصدي يعني يجي هيك شيء؟
لا حبيبي، هذا الحكي اللي انا دا احكي هنا. يعني مثلا اقول لك لويزا الفراغ sit beside the fireplace to talk about their future. يعني لويزا انتم اللي قعدوا يم المدفأة يم هاي النار وظلوا يحكون، يعني هيك شيء عجيب. العام شورت ستوري يعني العام منو كتب لي؟ ذكرت ابو الحسن ذكرني مثل اسئله العام بالقصه القصيره، مو ذكر اني درستكم شورت ستوري.
دكتور انا ما كنت وياكم.
ليش وين كنت؟
شوي تاخرت يعني سنه وكذا وجيت معي.
خوش. اي ابو الحسن، فشو اسمه يعني انا الاسئله مالتي راح تكون عباره عن اختيارات.
تمام دكتور تمام.
اوكي، فهذا اللي انا بس ورقه وقلم وسجله. يعني رحت اعيد انا مره الاخرى لانه لازم اعيد المحاضره في البدايه. يعني مثلا اقول لك انه لويزا and Tom sitting beside the fireplace and talking about their future. اثنيناتهم قاعدين يفكرون على مستقبلهم، لانه بعد صاروا يونغ يعني كبروا مو اطفال بعد هم، فدماغهم قام يشتغل، يريدون يغيرون، يريدون يشوفون دربهم. هذا القصد يعني هيك كذا احكي يعني كلمات كلش بسيطه دا استعمل. فانت اللي يجي فراغ او شو اسمه، نفرض اذا صار امتحان حضوري، انا ما اقدر اجيب لكم مقاليه هنا، اذا الكتروني فهي فراغات. اذا صار حضوري الامتحان، اذا صار حضور، يا اما اجيب لكم سؤالين، يا اما اجيب لكم السؤال الاول تكلم عن فلان شخصيه او تكلم عن فلان حدث على ان لا يزيد عن 4 أو 5 اسطر. يعني
دكتور بس سؤال، يعني واحد يقدر يشرح من خاطره لو الا نصا لو يقدر واحد يعبر يعني بطريقته.
انت تريد، انا اريدك تستخدم كلمات، انا اريدك تستخدم لغتك، بس القصه نفسها يعني الحدث نفسه، بس انت عبر بكلماتك انت رايك، ما عندي كل مشكله كيف اصلا.
زين هو شرح للنص يعني احداث النص وكذا، مو ما وراء النص وكذا، يعني يشرح كذا هيك تصير.
انا ما اجيب ناس واقول لكم انهم قالوا ليش قالوا على من قال، هذول كل الاشياء يتعمل الواحد بلا فايده. انا اخذ الشابتر، اخذ الزبده مالته، اخذ الاحداث المهمه مالته، يعني لبه الكاتب وين بهذا الشابتر اخذها واعطيكم اياه.
يعني يكون السؤال مثلا انه اهم الاحداث في شابتر كذا، بس باختصار اشرح او هيك شيء.
اي انا لما اجيب لك يعني قلت لك اذا صار امتحان حضور، يعني احتمال اجيب 10 نقاط اختيارات، احتمال اجيب سؤال 5 نقاط اختيارات، وسؤال انا اسوي لك بالورقه اخططها 4 اسطر او 5. تكتب لي اعطيك سؤال تشرح لي على قد هذول ال5 اسطر، اذا كلمه واحده ورا هذا السطر ما صح. فهاي الطريقه.
تسلم دكتور تسلم، ما قصرت، تعبتك وياي.
اهلا وسهلا. فانا اريد منكم بس ورقه وقلم وبس، لان كم كلمه بسيطه انت احكي سجلوا ما يجي. راح تتذكرون بالامتحان، من يجي لكم بالامتحان راح تتذكرون، راح تقولون ايه صحيح هاي حاكيها قايلين. زين I will repeat in chapter 8 we have يعني هسه بدينا chapter 8 we have Louisa and Tom sit talking by the fireplace in Stone Lodge. Their unhurried conversation starts, stops, pauses, gazing into the fire. Gaze into the fire معناته يباعون على النار ويصفنون ويفكرون ويحجون انهرت conversation معناته محادثة بطيئة، محادثة متقطعة، يعني يحكي له حكايتين، هناك صفوان فكر حكى، هي تصفن تواوى على النار gazing on the fire. يعني what I want to say is both of them now are young and started thinking about their future, thinking about getting out from this house, the house of Gradigrand. اوكي واضح لحد الان اخوان؟ اللي حكيته واضح؟ جاوبوني.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Yes, Victor.
So Tom, in this conversation, Tom complains bitterly, complains strongly about his life in Stone Lodge. توم بعد ضاج من هاي الحياة اللي عايشة بالفاكت عايشة بهذا البيت ضاج. So he tells his sister Louisa that this place is just like the jail. We are prisoners in this jail. I have to find my future. I have to find my path, my own business. I'm young. I'm not a kid anymore. About the relationship between these two characters, it is a very strong relationship. Louisa loves Tom too much, and she is ready to do everything he wants. She just wants to see him happy. She just wants to see him happy, to help him to achieve his goals. This is Louisa, who loves her brother Tom too much. So Tom complains bitterly about his life in Stone Lodge, and he wants to change. So do you remember in chapter 7 when Bonderby tells Sparsit that I will bring Tom to work in the bank and to ask Louisa's hand? تتذكرون هذا الشيء في الشابتر السابع when he tells Sparsit? Do you remember or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, yeah.
Okay. So Tom brings up the subject of his going to live with old Bonderby. Now, in this conversation, Tom tells Louisa that I'm going to go to work with Bonderby in his bank. Okay. Louisa asks him if he really looks forward to work for him. Here we see that Louisa is shocked, or she is surprised, because she doesn't want her brother to work with Bonderby. Why she doesn't? Because she knows that Bonderby is a real terrible man, bad man, a fox, a tricky man. He just like his father. Bonderby just like their father, Gradigrand. So her point, I mean Louisa's point, or Louisa means here, that Tom, if you want to change your life, try to change it to the better life, not to bitter life. يعني اكو مرارة واكو حلال نفس هذا. So change it to a better life. Don't work with Bonderby. يعني لويزا هنا ايش تقصد انه انت يعني ما راح تسوي شيء انه تطلع من Gradigrand تروح Bonderby because they are the same mentality. So we can't consider this as a change from a state to another state. So this is the point of Louisa that not to work with Wonderboy, because it will change nothing. You just change faces, but with same principle. You are changing faces, but with the same principle. And we did nothing in this case. So Tom replies her. Tom رد عليها. He said, there is one thing to be said for it. يعني فتشي واحد يقول بهذا الشيء. It will be getting away from home. It will be getting away from home. It means Tom reached to a level that said it is enough. I had enough. I can't stand living in this home, in this situation, in these facts. If we stay here, we will not go forward at all. We will keep our life here at the same place with same principle. So changing must be done. So I go everywhere with anyone just to escape from this house. I'm ready to work with Wonderboy and worse than Wonderboy, just to escape from this house. You can imagine here this character is suffering. It is a suffering of that character because he had enough. يعني روح طلعت بس تطلع من البيت وان ما كان اشتغل وان ما جو لو اسوء من Wonderboy 1000 وانا مشتغل بس في سبيل انه اطلع من هذا البيت. So he has inner conflict. And I'm going to talk about the conflict and the kinds of conflict next chapter now. So this young man has an idea, has a goal, has a dream to achieve. But if he stays here in his place, in his stone lodge, he will never achieve anything. And also, Tom wants to prove to his father that he is a man and he is good at business, he is good at banking, and he is a dependable man. My father, you can depend on me. I just want to prove that to you. I'm not kid anymore. So this is the soul, this is the spirit of youth, the torch of youth. He is a young man. He has dreams, goals to achieve, to prove to himself that he is a human. He is a man who can be dependent on to achieve his aim, to open his own business, to go in his own path. And he has gotten enough of that philosophy of facts. So this situation of thinking itself, this situation of thinking of both Louisa and Tom, and the chapter is titled Never Wonder. الشابتر اسمه معناته اسمه لا تسأل لا تفكر. So the meaning here is that thinking, asking, imagining, planning to the future, all these mentioned factors are forbidden, are prevented by Gratiglent. You don't have the right to ask, you don't have the right to think, to wonder. No, at all. Don't think, don't ask. This is Mr. Gratiglent. And this unhurried conversation is happened without knowing of Mr. Gratiglent. He doesn't know. Because they are a brother and a sister who are speaking to each other to discuss their life, their current suffered life, better life. So he answered her that I'm ready to work with anyone, wherever, just to get away from this house. So you can imagine the level that Tom reached. Louisa repeats word for word getting out of the home. هو مو قال لها انه it will be getting away from home. هي عادت هاي الجملة مرة الأخرى it will be getting away from home. In this way she repeated. In this way she repeated it. Unhurried repetition. Thinking full repetition. Word after word. Why? It means that Tom has the right in getting away from this home. And why I'm still here? Let me think also to get away from this home, but where? I will tell you why she said where. Because the women is oppressed in the Victorian age. They disrespect the women. They disrespect the women, whatever she is, young or rich or poor, young or old. We see that Sparsit is unrespected women by Vanderby. We see that Cece unrespected women by Gradgrind when he humiliated her too much. We see Louisa is unrespected women, but not. It is not very clear. It is hidden. It is hidden disrespecting. So we see that Cece disrespected, Sparsit is disrespected, Louisa is disrespected, but each one is has his color or kind of disrespecting. Disrespecting of Cece is clear, disrespecting of Sparsit is clear, disrespecting of Louisa is hidden. Because she is a woman and we don't her to work. We don't want her to think or to ask or to wonder. She has no right. Okay? So while they were talking here, Tom and Louisa, they are talking, still talking that unhurried conversation. To the first time we meet and see وتشرفنا Mrs. Gradgrind, the wife of Gradgrind. The wife of Gradgrind. Mrs. Gradgrind comes to share her kids the conversation. She hears that Tom is encouraging Louisa to wonder. What does that mean? When Tom said his opinion, his decision about getting away from home and to go work with Vanderby in the bank, here the role of Louisa to say her opinion too. So, but when she said it, her mother, Mrs. Gradgrind, was there. And Tom encouraged Louisa to think, to say her opinion. So here, Mrs. Gradgrind is very angry. Is very angry, and she was complaining, complaining that Tom has been encouraging his sister to wander when he knows that his father has expressly said that he is not to do it. Mrs. Gradgrind كلش شايطة هنا. He's furious because of Tom is encouraging his sister to think, to wonder, and this thing is forbidden by her father. Thinking and wondering in general is forbidden, according to Gradgrind. But when the thinking comes by a man just like Tom, let's say it's okay, let Tom think, but don't let Louisa think. I told you the woman is oppressed at that time in the Victorian age, just like our age, just like our society. The woman is oppressed. The woman has no opinion. The woman is forced to follow her father and her brother and her husband. She has no opinion. She is not free. So at that time it is the same. And I said it, we have appeared disrespecting of women, and we have hidden disrespecting of women. Here Louisa is hidden disrespected woman, because she has no right to think or to wonder or to ask. So Mrs. Gradgrind said that your father has expressly said that she is not to do it. Okay? So here Charles Dickens wants to compare the poor people kids and rich people kids. Poor people kids are happier than rich people kids. Rich people kids have everything: money, authority, power, palace, everything they want they have. But they don't have freedom. They don't have freedom. They are not happy. The poor kids are happy, but they have nothing. They have no money. They have no home, no good living, but they are happy. And the happiness is the key of the living for the human being. The human must be happy in his life to live a good life, to see everything clear. So poor people, they are hungry, starving, no food, no money, no home, no education, but they are happy in their hearts and they help each other. On the contrary of these rich people who have everything, but they lack happiness and freedom. I mean their kids. So here it is a sign to the educational system. This is the question. Is the educational system good or bad? Question mark. Is the educational system good or bad? It is good, but not suitable to everyone. It is bad because it is not suitable to everyone. It means the educational system is not suitable to everyone. You can't bring all the people, all the kids, all the society to force them to follow the system. And the one who doesn't follow the system will be punished. And this is dictatorship. So, give me the result of the educational system of Mr. Gradgrind. What is the educational system of? Each rich man has money. He built a school. He brought kids. He delivered than his principal. undone. يعني كل واحد بكيف يفتح مدرسة ويجيب طالب principal اللي يعجبه. And he wants to force everyone to learn that philosophy or that principle. And this is something impossible to. It is impossible to have all kids and to learn everyone according to what you want. No. So what is the result here? This is the result. Tom and Louisa, the result of the educational system. And we have Sisi also as a result. Sisi is the result that couldn't receive the education, the philosophy. She couldn't. It is out of her head. Here we have Tom and Louisa. Who are forced to learn the facts. But they reached to a level, to a certain age. They are young people and they are thinking right now. So they found that this system is not suitable to them and it is not enough of that system. So this chapter has been finished. We are going to move to chapter 9 after 2 minutes. If you have a question after we stop. Between Sisi and Louisa. We just talked about Louisa and Tom. Now we are going to talk about Sisi and Louisa, and we see that Louisa has shown up from these 2 chapters until the end of the novel. Her role, I mean. So this chapter is titled Sisi's Progress. Sisi's progress. Progress means the progress of learning the philosophy of facts. The progress of learning the philosophy of facts. So several months have passed since Sisi moved into Stone Lodge. You know that Sisi now lives in Mr. Gradgrin's Stone Lodge home, and you know that Gradgrin told her and warned her that don't mention your past, Sirt's father, and fairy tales, and you must start from the 0 point to forget entire past and start again a new life here in my home and to learn. And my only condition is to learn the philosophy of facts. The philosophy of facts. So this condition, we can't say it is achieved or not, and we will see. So here, Sisi spent a long time in Stone Lodge trying to understand the philosophy of facts, but she couldn't understand it at all. Even Mr. McChuckenchild, the teacher from chapter 2, Mr. McChuckenchild, the teacher from chapter 2, told Mr. Gradgrind that it is useless. It is useless that Sisi will never learn the philosophy of facts. She will never learn it. I tried my best with her. I did everything with her just to learn her, but she didn't receive or understand this philosophy. So here we have Sisi and Louisa sitting together, talking to each other as a young girl. I told you they are not kids anymore. بعد مو جهال كلهم كبروا صاروا شباب. So they are not kids and they are talking to each other and discussing the life, the principle of facts. Sisi complains to Louisa that I can't stand this life, this philosophy, I can't understand it, and this is make Mr. Gradgrind angry because of me, because I didn't understand it. So I was appointed by my father, but I am sure he will return someday and I will find him, he will find me, and I'm going to live with him again because I really love my father. So here Louisa started thinking. Sisi is talking. Louisa is thinking. Louisa asked Sisi, tell me about your past. Tell me about the relationship between you and your father, between your father and your dead mother. So Sisi started talking beautifully, amazingly about her relationship with her father, and she was really happy with him, and he did everything just to amuse her, to make her happy. He tries his best to afford her the life, but sadly his performance goes down last days, so he lost his job at the circus, and he left her because he feels that he is shamed in front of his daughter. So she talked with a sad tone, and that sad tone affected Louisa too much. She told Louisa that my father, my mother were love each other, have a good life until my mother died, and so she talked beautifully about her life with her father, with her family. So here we see that Louisa is confused, gazing on Sisi, thinking why my family is not like this family. Why my family is not happy just like this family. Why I don't have a great relationship with my father just like Sisi's relationship with her father. So here we see another clash between the cultures, between poor average people, just like the clash of Gradgrind Vanderby with the two workers, Kidder Minister and Childers. من حكينا به ما راح بقصص انه هذا ذاك كان اول كلاش، هذا نقدر نعتبره كلاش او تصادم ثاني بين الفقير وبين الغني. And it is a clash of the style of life. We see from hand the style of the life of Louisa. She has everything. She has everything, but she has no great relationship with her family, only Tom. She is not happy with her family, with her father. Her father doesn't care for her with feelings, emotions as a father and a daughter. And from this hand we have Sisi, this poor, lonely woman, but she was happy. She was happy. And you can see you can notice that the happy poor families are destroyed by rich families' dictatorship. You can see this. Why? So we see that poor people have nothing, only happiness and good relationship between the members of family because of the continuous working of the father of the family, poor people, that who comes only for hours to the home, and he has no time to see or to talk to his family, so his family is started destroying because of working, because of the factories that belong to rich people. So rich people live a wealthy life, a life of appearance, يعني حياة مظاهر عايشين, a life of appearance, and at the same time they are attacking and destroying poor people families, just like Sisi, who has been destroyed her family by rich people. Why? Because her father is poor, he can't afford her enough money, so he left her. Now a rich man who took her to make her as a servant to his wife, to his family. So this happy woman like Sisi, who turns to be a sad and suffered woman, a sad woman, because of rich families and rich men, just like ecological problems. So if we want to compare these two characters, Sisi and Louisa, we will find so many differences. The style of living, money, poverty, starving, loneliness, a family, destroyed family, a family who is happy and now destroyed. So Sisi said a sentence. Sisi said a sentence. And this sentence has affected deeply in Louisa. She said, we are made to feel. We are made to feel. خلقنا لنشعر. So this sentence has affected Louisa deeply, strongly. And this sentence and Louisa herself moved the feelings inside Louisa. Louisa is a smart, beautiful woman. Louisa is, had the space, Majal, from her father, she would be greater than now, because she can't balance between her mind and her heart, between imagination and reality. I will talk about this. The conflict, الصراع. We have two kinds of conflict. The external conflict, الصراع الخارجي. The external conflict is between the human and external thing or external human or society. يعني صراع الإنسان الخارجي يكون مع شخص أو مجتمع أو شيء. So this is the external conflict. Each character in literature has a conflict. Without a conflict, there is no action. No conflict, no action. And each human being, since the creation, has a conflict. Maybe an external conflict or inner conflict. Inner conflict is a conflict between the human and himself. How? The inner conflict is about a war between the mind and the heart. It is a between the mind and the heart. A man maybe follows his heart or follows his mind. A man who can balance between heart and mind, and we have Louisa. Louisa can balance between these two factors. So if we want to talk about the conflict in the characters in Hard Times, we see that Charles Dickens gives a certain conflict to each one. For example, we have Mr. Gradgrind, who has external conflict with society to make them follow his philosophy of things. If we go to Cece, we see that she has inner conflict and external conflict, but the external conflict of Cece is stronger than the inner conflict. Why? Because she is facing Gradgrind, she is facing Vanderbilt, she is facing the society, she is facing the harshness, cruelty, poverty. But if we go to Louisa, we see that Louisa has external and inner conflict, but her inner conflict is harder than external conflict. بالعكس يعني سيسي الاكسترنال كونفليكت مالتها اقوى من الانر. لويزا الانر مال الصراع مالتها اقوى من الخارجي. And why? Because she has a great kind of emotions and she can't use it because she is afraid, and this is external conflict. She is afraid from her father to practice her emotions, and this is the problem. So here, Louisa, in this sentence, when Cece said, "We are made to feel," Louisa has moved all her emotions and feelings, and she becomes and she shows that emotions to Cece. But still, Mr. Gradgrind didn't know. Still, he didn't know at all. But because she is afraid to tell Gradgrind that, or to show her emotions in front of Gradgrind. We have irony here. I told you before, this novel is based on irony. How? What is the irony? The irony here is that Mr. Gradgrind brings Cece to his home to force her to follow the system of education and philosophy of facts, to change her. He brings her to the home to change her. But what happened? That Cece changed Louisa to make her a sensitive woman. This is irony. يعني أنا جبت سيسي للبيت حتى أعلمها وأضغط عليها بالحقائق وأعلمها هذا السيستم وأغيرها. قامت هي غيرت لويزا اللي هي الwoman of fact. غيرتها سوتها sensitive. This is the irony. And this is the mistake of the character when he committed it to lead the human, or to lead this character to his tragic end. The tragic end happens by committing mistakes. Every literary work, the character, the hero, or any character commits mistakes to make his tragic end. Just like in Hamlet, because of his thinking of revenge, he becomes blind. In Oedipus, when he knows the truth, he lost his mind, he lost his life, and. So the mistake of Gradgrind when he brings Cece, when he didn't listen to Bandarbai when Bandarbai advised him, don't take Cici to your home because she is going to affect on your kids, Tom and Louisa. So Gradgrind didn't believe in Bandarbai, and he has that challenge to change her. So let me tell you something here. It is unconsciously that Gradgrind imagines that he is going to change Cici, but realistically, Cici changed his daughter. And Charles Dickens here strikes Gradgrind in his heart, in his depth, again, just he did in chapter 3 when he made them peeping on the tent. So this is the story, this is the turning point this is the climax of the story. And the climax is continued to chapter 13 or 14. Here we have Louisa, the young adult woman. She's smart, beautiful. She started thinking in her future. She started practicing her emotions, her feelings because of the affection of Cici, but she still has that external conflict that she is afraid to use it in front of her father. Something wrong, something. Thank you, yes. Okay. So you have nothing. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for your listening. And hopefully to see you and talk to you next week, inshallah.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you, Arkan. You are most welcome.